Are you wondering how to write your blog posts? I'm going to share with you how I write a blog post from start to finish. And this particular formula will not only increase your readership of your blog posts, but it will also increase your traffic, and it keeps Google and the other search engines happy when it comes to SEO. Hi everyone, it's Leanne Cohen's here, digital success coach and owner of the agency Marketing Lead. And in today's video, we are talking about how to write a blog post from start to finish to build your brand. If you've been following along with this particular video series or reading any of my blog posts, you would have seen that they follow a particular format. And that is for a very specific reason. It's not a coincidence or something because I think it looks pretty. This particular formula actually helps my blog posts in terms of SEO. It helps drive traffic to my website, and it helps readers notice my blog. And it works exactly the same for the clients that we do blogging for as well. So last week I discussed the different elements that you should consider when creating your blog. And it should be all about not focusing on just writing a blog for the sake of having a blog. You need to be focusing on providing and producing content that's great for your readers. Now, when it comes to creating this, here's the guideline. The first thing you need to do is have a really good headline. The headline is to draw your reader in and give them no option but to actually click on your blog post. So you can see here, I've got a headline that's talking about marketing storytelling and how to create stories that sell. Now, this is really important because this makes a difference between people actually clicking through to read what it is that you are actually writing or just continuing to scroll. So how do you write a headline? Firstly, you need to use words or phrases that actually resonate with your audience. So knowing your target market is essential because you'll know that the words that will trigger them or that will attract them. The next thing is to ask questions, or you can use a number that will actually spark a psychological trigger to get people thinking. Like 5 steps to doing this, 3 ways to having this happen, 9 reasons that you shouldn't do X, Y, Z. The next thing is to be concise, direct, and to the point. And then have your keywords mapped out so that you can actually optimize as you're writing, and you can optimize for search performance. If you're not too sure what you should be asking or what you should be doing, research using Google search, Google Trends, or even ask the public. They'll give you some really good ideas of what people are searching for and what can actually work. The second thing is the image that you use. Now, as I mentioned last week, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Now, images can actually help your readers to get a better understanding of your content. It's another really good reason because it's when it comes to visual search. We've found when we're running reports for clients, when we're doing their SEO and just running general reports to see how things are working, that the images that are used can actually be pulled up if they're optimized correctly for those specific keywords in image search. And you'll be amazed at the amount of people that actually do their research when it comes to looking for particular images. Having high quality and optimized images are really, really important. But there is a caveat. You've got to choose your images carefully. Don't compromise on quality, and use photos of faces, because that's where people are actually hardwired to be drawn to other people and be drawn to faces. So where possible, use pictures of people showing their faces. Use color, and especially if you can find images that align with your branding colors, because color draws the eye to the image and it actually promotes interest. The next thing is to consider adding in infographics and other PDF downloads and things like that. But always make sure that you have the license rights to use any image that you have on your website. Don't just go to Google and right-click and download, because you could end up getting a very expensive letter from Getty Images or one of those places because you don't have that particular license for the image. The third thing is focusing on your connection or your hook. You've got to give your reader the feeling that if they keep reading, they're actually going to overcome a challenge or they're going to learn something, and you're actually adding value to them by sharing this information. So this is what we call your ACE. It's a topic or a statement that the rest of your blog centers around. Now, often I'll start my blogs with a question, and that'll be my hook, because then Asking a question makes people want to answer it, or it will make them curious as to see what your answer is. A reader will always be able to relate either yes or no to your question you present. So it creates an instant connection. So when you're thinking about doing your blogs, what type of a problem would you like to solve for your reader when they actually read your blog? Now, the fourth thing is your body. Now, when it comes to creating your body, you've really got to give them no option but, thinking this is great and how to share. Readability is really important. To appreciate the content, the design has to emphasize the content and not actually distract them away from it. And because we do so much on our mobile, you'll see there is a lot of white space here because it makes it easier to read when people are scrolling through on their mobile phone. Then making sure that you've got short, punchy sentences instead of long bulky paragraphs, and have statements as well. Subheadings and dot points, like I've got here, make it easy for readers to actually skim the content and by using subheadings. Now, last week I also talked about the different types of readers, so this keeps it easy for them to skim through, pull out the information that they want and continue on reading. Having appropriate formatting helps them spot the most important information. So with headlines, numbers, bullet points, and then where possible, mention influencers and include relevant links and sources and other information from influencers in your industry. Now, one of the things that you also need to think about is the length. So even though you're writing for your audience, you've got to think about search engines, and statistically, blogs over 2,000 words perform a lot better. And then the final thing is your conclusion. So that's the fifth step. Now, the conclusion is making sure that you end with a bang. Make sure that the reader wants to come back, keep reading, and ask them for more things. One of my favorite sayings is people are silently begging to be led. So if you don't tell them what to do next, they are not going to do it. So you can see here I've got a whole list of different links going depending on what the reader wants, from free resources to different courses and even strategy sessions. If you don't have a call to action, people don't know what to do after they've finished reading your blog. That's probably one of the most important things with your blog, is making sure that you've got your conclusion and you've got your call to action, and make sure that those call to actions are relevant to the content of your blog. Make sure you use a strong command verb to start and use words that actually promote emotion. There you have it. They are the 5 steps to write a blog post from scratch or from start to finish and build your brand and grow your business. And I'll go through the 5 steps again. Have a great eye-catching or intriguing headline. Have a really vibrant header image that quite often shows people's faces. Have a connection or a hook that highlights the pain point of the reader and the challenge that they're going to overcome by actually reading the blog. The fourth thing is make sure that the copy is readable. This is the most important thing. And to have them appreciate the content, the design must be laid out a certain way. And then the fifth and final step is to end with a bang and make sure that you've got a really good conclusion and a call to action. Those are the 5 steps when it comes to creating a blog from start to finish. Now, next week, I'm going to be sharing about how you go about marketing your blogs and how you can actually get them in front of your target reader. So I hope that has been of some value to you today. And if you're not sure on how to get your business growing, our marketing agency, Marketing Led, offers a full range of done-for-you, realistic and practical marketing solutions that will actually help your business to deliver results and actually hit the spot with your customers, so you can focus on just simply growing your business. If done for you is not something that you're looking for and you have things that you still want to do yourself, I also do 2-hour strategy sessions that will give you a clear action plan, digital strategy maps and checklists, and it's a really great way to start planning and working on certain aspects of marketing your business. So that's just some of the ways that we can actually help you grow your business. I hope that has been of some value to you today, and have an amazing week. I'll see you next week. Bye for now. If you're not sure how to grow your business in the online space and you'd like to learn more about how this all works when it comes to showing up online, then make sure that you hit the subscribe button below and don't forget to click the bell so you get notified every single time we go live with a new educational video.